A Boy and a Jaguar. This story is about a young boy who one day takes a trip to the Bronx Zoo. There, he sees a jaguar in a bare room and wonders why he's there. The young boy's favorite animal is a jaguar, so he leans in to try to talk to it. But the young boy has a stutter, and when he tries to speak, some of the words won't come out. At school, the teachers put him in a class for disturbed children, even though his parents do not agree with it. The teacher's explanation is because he sometimes can disturb the class. He later finds out that the two things that he can do without stuttering were singing and talking to animals. The boy had multiple pets and promised them that if he could ever find his voice, he would be theirs. One of the boy's dreams is that he wanted to speak just like everyone else. One day, back at the zoo, he walks up to the jaguar cage and whispers the same promise he made to his pets to the jaguar. Many years later, the boy gets a job studying black bears in the Smoky Mountains. He seems to feel at home in the forest with the animals. Later, the boy makes it to Belize to study jaguars. This has been his long-time dream. There, he realizes that jaguars are not well protected and wants to set up a preserve for them. He goes to the Prime Minister and tries to convince them that they need to do this. He wins. He set up the first jaguar preserve in the world. One day, while following the biggest jaguar tracks he had ever seen, they run into a huge jaguar. He sits down with the jaguar and looks into its eyes, just the way he used to in the Bronx Zoo. And at the very end, he leans in close, just like he did before, and whispers, "Thank you."
Music. Cultural music understanding. Standard. Connecting. Anchor standard number 4. Anchor standard description. Synthesize and relate knowledge and personal experience to make music. Anchor standard number 4. Anchor standard description. Relate musical ideas and works to varied contexts and daily life to deepen understanding. The musical element or concept being taught are timbre and form. Lesson objectives. The students will be able to identify and discuss musical elements. The students will be able to identify different instruments in a song. Students will be able to show different types of repetition and rhythms through the use of instruments. And students will be able to identify the form of a song. The materials needed are instruments and cultural music. Begin the lesson by introducing a cultural song from Belize, a place in the book, to students. After the students have heard the song all the way through, have them discuss about the different musical instruments they heard as well as the rhythm. Have the students discuss how each instrument contributed to the song and inform them about the cultural background of this music. Also, have them discuss the differences between American and Belize music. After that, begin to pass out instruments to the students and direct the students to play their specific notes and beats that we have previously gathered. After playing, you may have the students switch instruments so everyone gets a chance to play. The students can then identify the differences in each instrument, how they changed the song, and other things that they liked about the instruments. They can also discuss which instrument was their favorite and why. Modifications, adaptations, and accommodations. Strategies for struggling learners. Give the student an instrument which they are more familiar with. You can slow down the rhythm so it's easier for them to follow. You can also have them play things on their desk instead of instruments if they cannot hold them. Strategies for challenging advanced learners. You could speed up the rhythm of the song, and you can also give the student an extra instrument to use while playing. Finally, you can also have the students create their own cultural song based on the music they had heard. This is a good opportunity for children to show their creativity and how they work well together. This is a perfect opportunity to challenge the learners. At the end of the lesson, collect all the instruments from the students and have them write down in their journals what they thought about the assignment. Standards. Standard 1. The physically literate individual demonstrates competency in a variety of motor skills and movement patterns. Runs for distance using a mature pattern. S1.E2.4. Standard 4. The physically literate individual exhibits responsible personal and social behaviors that respects themselves and others. Lesson objectives. 1. I will improve my health and endurance by running and staying focused. 2. I will respect my peers and play the game safely. You will need 6 cones, 2 on each side, and 2 cones 10 feet from the free zone. You will also need jerseys, pennies. Setup time, around 5 minutes. After reading the book A Boy and a Jaguar, have the students talk about their favorite characters. Begin by telling the kids that the name of the game is Zookeepers and Jaguars, and the goal of the game is to break free into the wild by running from one side to the other. There will be 2 zookeepers for every 15 jaguars present in the class. This will ensure a fair game. The game takes place on a field set up by 4 cones, and the objective of the game is to catch all the jaguars. They will begin running from one side to the other while avoiding getting tagged by the zookeepers, who can wander around anywhere in the zone. Jaguars cannot get tagged within the first 10 feet, which is marked by a cone, and may not leave the zone. If a jaguar gets tagged, they become a zookeeper for the next round. You can also have the students change their motion to a galloping, leaping, or shuffling motion at your discretion. The students can also change these movements on their own. Strategies for struggling learners. Make the field larger. Have limitations for where the zookeepers can get tagged, and if the students are having trouble running, shorten the field. For advanced learners, change the motion of the game more frequently, and increase the number of zookeepers that are present. You can also make the field narrower so it's harder to make it through. Art. Make your own jaguar. Standard 1. Artistic process. Creating. Anchor Standard 1. Generate and conceptualize artistic ideas and work. VA CR 1.1.2a. Brainstorm collaboratively multiple approaches to an art or design problem. Standard 2. Artistic process. Creating. Anchor Standard 2. Organize and develop artistic ideas and work. VA CR 2.3.2a. Experiment with various materials and tools to create works of art or design. The element of art or principle of design being taught is rhythm. Lesson objectives. I can connect the literature read to my artwork and express my interest through my art. I can create spots on a jaguar using different types of media to express my imagination and creativity. I will need my jaguar handout, felt, colored paper, markers, crayons, colored pencils, stickers, buttons, googly eyes, glue, and scissors. To begin the lesson, review the book A Boy and a Jaguar and talk to the class about jaguars and what they look like. You can show the students pictures of jaguars for inspiration. Next, you can pass out the jaguar outlines to the students and lay out the different materials for them to use. These include felt, colored paper, markers, crayons, colored pencils, and many other materials. These are all going to be used in their projects. While the students are working on their projects, go around the room and talk to them about how they are decorating their jaguar. Make sure that they're trying to reflect their personality in their art. When the project is done, have the students go around with trash collecting scraps. Have different students from each table bring up different supplies assigned to them and make a pile for each material. When everyone is done cleaning up, go around the room and ask if any students would like to share their artwork. After that, you can have a discussion with the class about what rhythm in art means and how rhythm ties into the project they had just completed. After that, have the class switch artwork with a partner and have them identify to each other the patterns in their artwork. Strategies for struggling learners. Have pre-cut spots, limit the media and tools being used, and have the students work together as partners
Strategies for challenging advanced learners. Have students draw their own Jaguar, add more media and tools, and have the students draw a background for their Jaguars.